Hi y'all, we're the Weyandts, and this is our Rooted story. Yeah, what I enjoyed about leading Rooted was getting to meet people in where they're at, and getting to meet people from some different walks of life, or even from walks of life maybe that we had, a few years back, but now we're in a different space because we've grown a lot, and also being vulnerable. I like to tell people I'm vulnerable to people in my inner circle, but none of the people in Rooted were in my inner circle until after Rooted, or maybe during Rooted they became my inner circle. And I think being vulnerable and being open allows you to really connect with others in a way that you wouldn't connect if you just hide your challenges or hide things that, man, maybe I struggled with before. I think God opens up doors when you allow your vulnerability to be the thing that people hear.
I agree. I think for me, being able to open up with others as they were being vulnerable with us, it gave us a chance to just have open conversations. Nothing that was said in the room is going to leave the room. And I think that helped us and allowed us to speak freely about real stuff. So we were able to walk through life together for 10 weeks and have those deep conversations that we were kind of needing to have, for sure. So I decided to help lead Rooted. We were asked, and we'd been praying about it for a while within our life group and everything, and it seemed like a good time to be part of something like that. As far as reservations, having open conversations can be nerve-wracking, so that was definitely something that kind of held back, but kind of through prayer life, I was able to open up more, and he was willing, and he kind of came to me and was like, hey, do you want to do this? And so we did.
Yeah, for me, I was asked quite a bit, and I always have these reservations because when I don't lead from my guitar or a microphone, I always think, man, that's not leading. Leading's only behind music. So really, it makes you vulnerable when you get away from the things that you're secure in and you're comfortable in, and you get out of your comfort zone to lead. So those are my reservations, but honestly, I think I decided just because I wanted a new challenge, and why not?
During Rooted, we saw God in our lives a lot. I think being able to openly talk about the little things, for me in the car, my car ride, I was able to share with the group, it's kind of silly, but when I see a butterfly, especially on a hard day, that to me is just God saying like, hey, I'm here. And someone else had a serious, similar experience as well. And to be able to just connect in that way. And it's so random, but there was a lot of that. So a lot of God just constantly saying like, hey, I'm here. No matter what's going on, no matter what you're going through, like I'm constantly here every single day and every single minute. And it's just about us taking a step back and listening and being open to that.
Yeah, I think the way God moved, I say in our group, first would be, I would say that the days of service, I think really seeing people become and starting to look like what Jesus did. So we got to serve at a kind of a senior community aspect, and then I think people really got to connect to people who maybe you didn't imagine them being able to connect with. We did bingo, and we called bingo, and we sat with people to have conversations. I know in my life, a few people taught me things about looking for opportunities, and like example is when we had our big storm here in Carrollton. We had some neighbors working on trees and just looking at my kids and saying, hey, we're gonna go help our neighbors clean up a little bit, and getting people, getting things out of the sidewalk and just helping our community more, and just looking for small opportunities, because ultimately those small opportunities become into big life-changing moments. I would recommend people to lead Rooted because it gives people the opportunity to lead. And I think I mentioned earlier, but it's the opportunity for some people to hear a story and maybe learn from somebody or hear from somebody who was going through that 5 years ago or a few years ago. Everybody has a starting point, and maybe someone's starting point is your point that you were at a few years ago, and they need Jesus, and they need to learn what it looks like to live like Jesus, and maybe in a way that you learned how. So people need that opportunity, and us as believers have that opportunity to teach others.
For me, I would say if you feel encouraged to be a leader in Rooted, do it. What's stopping you, honestly? If you are contemplating being part of Rooted, also do it. There's really nothing to lose. I mean, you're gonna have some conversations, then open up, and that can be scary, but also that's where we see God in other people. To have those deep dive conversations with yourself in that time of meditation, I can't think of a good reason not to do it. Sorry.